Today we're going to solve the age-old question, is it cheaper to build your own cabinets or buy them at your local hardware store? We'll find out. Welcome back, guys, to another episode on the remodel here. Electrical is all done, plumbing's all done. Now we need to start working on building the base cabinets here because they're going to take a whole lot of time for me. And your boy's taking a well-deserved vacation, so we need to make up our time. So to do this experiment properly, I went down to Home Depot and I checked out their cabinets that they have there. They're nothing crazy. They're your traditional oak cabinets that still need to be stained or painted, whatever you want to do. An average cabinet, these are a few that I took pictures of. They are 30 inches wide, so they're nice and big. The top ones that hang on the ceiling are $130, and the base ones are $184, I believe. And then the smaller ones that are like 12 inches wide, they drop down to like 130 or something like that. We're gonna calculate up at the end of this video how many cabinets I built and how many cabinets it would cost to actually get those cabinets. And then we'll kind of compare them side by side and we'll find out. So the cabinets that we're buying are 35 inches tall. And the range is 34.25 wide opening. I think they're like 33 3/4 on average, but you need that little gap. But that's a rough opening that they recommend. I'm gonna have my trim right here. So we got a 4-inch trim. First cabinet's gonna butt up to the range is 23 inches wide. Range opening. Next cabinet's gonna be 15-inch wide. That's gonna have like a bunch of pull-out drawers, spatulas, all that jazz. We have a 24 by 24 inch, call it a Lazy Susan. Then we're gonna have a 25-inch cabinet here, and then we're gonna have a 30-inch cabinet for our sink. Now I'm gonna create a little gap from the sink to the dishwasher. By the way, the dishwasher will go here, mostly because I wanna hide this. And if you've seen the last video, this can't go on the wall because I have concrete footings right there. So we have to make do with what we got here. And then we're gonna have a big wraparound peninsula, big open bar area here. Let's start building our base cabinets, starting from here. Getting ready to start. Got my maple plywood here. We're gonna need to build our first 23-inch cabinet. That's gonna start from the range. They're all gonna be the same height, so 35 inches, not a big deal. But 23 coming right up. Got our side pieces, bottom piece stretchers. Stretchers need pocket holes, and the side pieces need a dado cut, and what else does it need? Toe kick. We need toe kicks. From experience, I'll tell you this. This is the part you want to slow down. Why? Is because so many times I build cabinets and I put dados on the same exact side, so they don't line up. So make sure you have a mirror image. So they're going the right place, man, because you'll be buying more sheets of plywood, and they're 85 bucks a piece, this maple stuff, so it's basically gold. Dado's in, let's assemble. Where's my brush? Oh, that's disgusting. I got epoxy that spilled in my little catch-all thing. I got wood glue, I got glue holder, and look at all that epoxy on the little epoxy dye. That sucks. Now my gloves are dirty. That means the wood's gonna get stained. All right, guys, listen up. It's incredibly important to me to make sure I have the right tools for the right job. That's why we're building these cabinets for the kitchen. And speaking of kitchen, the tools that I need in the kitchen are very important to me and my family. And that's where I'm very excited to talk again about the sponsors of today's video. We worked with them in the past and they're fantastic. Kamikoto Japanese steel knives. I'm not kidding you, I love them. They are the only knives that are in my kitchen. My wife loves them. They're such high quality Japanese steel. They feel like swords. High quality. I've never owned knives that are this nice before. and it's so much fun using them. Kamikoto makes great Japanese steel kitchen knives using traditional techniques from Japan. Kamikoto builds on a legacy of over 800 years of Japanese technology and expertise in creating the steel to make knives that have been meticulously handcrafted from using traditional techniques that had dated back to the Edo period of Japan. Kamikoto also only uses steel sourced from mills in Japan, uses Japanese steel, and each blade is crafted using techniques that have been honed and perfected by generations of knife smiths. Each Kamikoto knife goes through a rigorous 19-step process that takes several years from start to finish to complete. With more than 100 years of expertise between them, their expert bladesmith honed a sharp, raw steel into hard blades, polishing and sharpening them to excruciating fine edge. One of my favorite features about them is that each knife is individually inspected and comes with a lifetime guarantee. Now, so if you have knives in your house, in your kitchen, that's what you want from a quality product. You want that backing up of a lifetime guarantee. And this is where that attention to detail, the knives come in the heavy-duty ash wood box. By the way, ash is my favorite wood species out there. And it makes it a perfect opportunity to gift this to somebody. Look at the presentation. I mean, I don't even want to use them. This looks like something ninjas would have. This is incredible. And a little fun fact for you, the Kamikoto Japanese steel knives are used by Michelin star restaurants all over the world. And Kamikoto is running a massive Black Friday holiday sale right now where you get an additional $50 off your purchase when you head to kamikoto.com/build it. Get yourself a quality Japanese steel knives that are razor sharp. Enjoy when you cook for your family. And thank you, Kamikoto, for sponsoring us once again. Now, let's get back to finishing this kitchen. Face frame is going to be a 1x2 select pine. I didn't go with poplar. You should go with a denser wood, but I hate the poplar. There's a lot of imperfections when I'm buying it, where I'm buying it from, versus select pine is like picture perfect. So that'll make like a finishing product when it comes to painting a whole lot easier. Pocket holes, glue, and screw. On this part, it's important to keep these super flat, or else you're going to be spending eternity sanding these flush. I almost forgot the word. That's what they call dead nuts right there. That was annoying. Maybe next time I'll think ahead and pre-drill my pocket holes on my big jig, but you know, that's neither here nor there. Let's throw this sucker on. Let's get some wood glue. That's be a better idea. Now the fun part. Finally becoming real. Like, this is gonna be a kitchen, and man, it's gonna be freaking awesome. All right, next up, we gotta build our 24-inch cabinet, I guess. Let's see here, boom, boom, boom. Well, this is actually gonna be a dead space, now that I realized. Okay, no, not a big deal. Let's build our 25-inch cabinet, huh? No reason to stand around and cry about it. Put some screws in your mouth scenario. They don't teach you that in school, huh? Hey, cabinet, I have some friends for you. Let's go! So I'm gonna need to do a blank box. Well, I don't really have to do a blank box. I could just kind of extend the other cabinet so there's just an empty space here and countertops can just kind of sit over it. That'll work. So up next, 25-incher. Didn't I say 25 in the last one? No, I had to make a 15. This is a 15-incher. The next one's 25. 25's coming up. Jigs right here. They are a lifesaver when it comes to getting everything nice and flush, because if you just hold your pocket screw in just like that, or a pocket hole just like that, you're gonna like the way you build, I guarantee it. When you're doing drawers, I used to always just kind of eyeball and be like, well, if it's off by an eighth or a quarter, I could always just make a overlapped drawer face and it'll conceal it all, but that's young man's game. So the best way to do it is take your overall length that you're working with, subtract all the dividing pieces that are gonna be here for the drawer, right? So subtract all of this. And then divide this length by how many sections there'll be. So in our situation, 5. So I created a little jig, my little spacer. So when this comes in here, there's no guesswork. You just literally line them all up and you'll have perfect spacing all around. You know what? I was actually dreading building all new cabinets, just how long it would take and how much to go through the process. But surprisingly enough, it's been kind of therapeutic. And it really only works with a setup. And I know my setup is unique. There's not a lot of people who have an entire big shop space to themselves. But the way I kind of have it set up is my materials here, I cut it all rough here. Here I do all my little details like my toe kicks, right? And then I walk, and this is the big one, I come over here and I use my pocket hole form in here. So I could do a bunch of them really quickly so I don't have to clamp anything down. And then this is like my assembly table. So by having a system like this, it allows for me to actually bust them out really quickly. So on average, I think each carcass with the face frame is coming out to be about 20 to 25 minutes, which I think is pretty damn fast. How cool does this look? They look incredible. I don't want to toot my own horn, but they came out as good as I could ever make them. I'm really proud of how this looks, really, really. And they're 3/4 inch maple ply. Most cabinets are 1/2 inch particle board. So, man, they're sweet. Now the setup here, well, it's a little tricky. So dishwashers on average are about 24 inches opening, rough opening. That's what the old Google is saying. And then we have our sink here. Now the thing with the sink is it's a unique situation because the AAV valve cannot be hidden in cabinets. You have to be able to access it. So we either make one giant cabinet. Option B is we cut off our AAV valve, put it closer here, and then conceal this and then run our lines underneath it. There's really no crazy win, the best option here, because I'm gonna give up cabinet space because this is gonna be inside of it, meaning like if this is gonna be a blank. So I think really just to keep it all honest and straightforward, I think I'm just gonna build one giant long cabinet, which would be 48 inches wide, one more big cabinet, and then we can start working on our uppers. Stay. No problems. Okay, let's go nice and smooth. We don't want anything to go wrong. We've been here before. We got our reps in. I think so far so good. That's awkward. Can't roll it over. It's ceiling's too low. Get creative. Ooh, awkward. I am surprised, knock on wood, I haven't pulled my back doing crazy stunts like this. So I'm quickly discovering something about my design here. Because how long it is, there's gonna be flex. Now I'm not concerned about this flex. This simply just holds the stretchers together. The countertops that are gonna go on, that's gonna be our stability. The problem goes down below here, big long span. Definitely need something here because I bet you put a couple of buckets or some laundry detergent and this is gonna have plenty of flex. So I think what I'll do is just rip a couple of pieces of plywood and secure them down the middle here. That way this will be nice and strong. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have come to a section in our regular programming where I do something and I'm gonna either be very, very happy or I'm gonna cry. So what we have to do is we have to specifically and precisely cut the holes for our water line and our drainage that's gonna be there. I've measured 3 times, but I suck at measuring. So I gave it the old cowboy try. Kids, pray for me. Let's go see how we did. Where's the wobbling? Oh my God. 5 3/8. Oh, it's off by like 3/8. How did I screw up measuring that? There we go. Oh my goodness. We did it! Oh, we got all the base cabinets done. Took me 6 sheets of plywood at 85 bucks, so I think they're 88 bucks a sheet. You do the math. Made 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 cabinets with 6 sheets. Upper cabinets. So I've kind of did my little layout. The Home Depot cabinets are 30 inches wide. The specific one I was looking at, they come in different sizes. 12 inches deep. They vary of how tall you want them, so I'm gonna maximize our headspace here. So we got a 30-inch cabinet here by 12 inches deep. We're gonna do a 25-inch cabinet here, a matching 25-inch cabinet for symmetry here. I'm gonna have kind of these like floating shelves up here. Irene always likes to put decor. Fortunately, upper cabinets are a little bit simpler to build. We're gonna have our top and bottom pieces, pocket holes on the bottom because you can't see, and the little face frame is gonna cover that even more. And then the top obviously is like that. The bottoms, or the sides, are just gonna be right here. Everything's gonna pocket hold in. And then the back is gonna have the cleats going this way so we could actually secure it into the wall, both on top and bottom, to give the most amount of support. Because I don't know if you guys know how much, you know, a full dining room set weighs, you know, all your porcelain dishes and all that stuff, but it's a lot. So do top and bottom, not just the top. I think I'm gonna do something a little bit different with the backing here. So in order to get rid of this exposed plywood edge, what I'll have to do is on 1, 2, I think there's only on 2 sides where the cabinets are exposed and not butting up to anything. I think I'm gonna put another finishing board against it, or finishing panel as they call it, against it, and it'll conceal everything and it'll be perfect. Upper cabinets looking beautifully. For the face frame, I decided to space them out so this can touch the ceiling and not interfere with any lights as this thing is opening. I also gapped it down below as well. Now, one more finishing touch. We need to put our pins in for the shelves to be adjustable. So I got a little shelf pinning jig following the pattern all the way up, and then we'll be able to bring our shelf in and we'll be able to store some, you know, dishes and such. Plan here is gonna be, I marked out my studs, which 90% of the time I miss the stud. I got my spacers here, which these are about 20 inches. I looked up the cabinet spacings that are typical, and they say anywhere between like 18 and 22 inches, or 16 and 22 inches. So I just kind of figured we'll find something kind of middle down the road, not to make it a little over crammed or anything. Set it on top and hopefully hit those studs, but we all know that's not gonna happen all the time. Okay, stud. Oh, don't do that. Do not do that. Are you seeing this? Are you seeing this? Look, this is, I mean, I was first worried with the low ceilings, but because the cabinets are nice and tall, this kind of becomes an illusion in a way. These are beautiful. We're gonna have so much more storage. I don't know if you guys seen what the before looks like, but we're gonna have such a bigger kitchen. So excited. Okay, 25-inch cabinet next. Here we go. This one's gonna be a little tricky because I don't have the cabinet. Well, I have a little bit of a cabinet to work here, but not on this side. So I think I'll just put one stick up, push it up, and then secure to the side and to the back. Fortunately, I have this giant header coming across, so I'll have an easier, fingers crossed, easier way of getting that stud. So just like my luck, there's no stud. I mean, I have like 3 studs here, but nothing here. So I'm not worried about it. I got one really good connection there, 2 really good ones on top. I might put a 3rd one just to beef it up, and then the rest will secure it through the sides here. And then I think in the corner here, again, there's not enough spacing to create really much of a door. So instead, I'm gonna put a cabinet on the side, but make it longer so you can open a small door that'll be like this big and then go into the corner so we can maximize some of that space. It'll look great. And I think in hindsight, what I should have done is, I know there's a lot of softwares out there for like kitchen layout planning. It would have been nice to kind of get a schematics of my walls and windows proximity, and then see general cabinets and how you can lay them out. So, because right now, your boy's just shooting from the hip and we're just cowboying it up. But we're doing a pretty damn good job at it. I made an executive decision here after catching the first cabinet messing up on these stretchers, or the supporting brackets that you actually mount through. When you look on the inside of the cabinet, you see this ugly ply layer. So what I'm gonna do is just iron on this veneer that matches it, and then that way, when you open the cabinet, it's gonna look nice and pretty. How much nicer does that look compared to that? So pretty. It's amazing what veneer will do. So here's the part of cabinet making they don't tell you about, is the installation part. You can control the size of your cabinets, but you can't control where the studs are. And even though studs are supposed to be 60 down center, from this stud to that stud is like 22 inches, which is ridiculous. I mean, the best I can do, there's a stud running through here. The best I can do is maybe throw in like a 2.5-inch screw and hopefully it'll get it. It's a tough look for the brand right now. I don't know if that even went through. Oh, you know what we could do? I have a ceiling joist running across here. So I could essentially tie in the top here, and that'll give me any weak spots of the screws I didn't miss. But we need these puppies to be strong and not dropping down. All right, folks, we got our last cabinet in. It took me 3 days and let's see here, 7.5 sheets of plywood to build all these carcasses. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 cabinet carcasses. The idea is the refrigerator is going to sit here, and then there's going to be like a giant cabinet that's bottom to ceiling. I obviously have the same cabinet wrap around the other side of the refrigerator, so it looks more of like a unit. Yeah, a unit. That's what we're going to do. In the meantime, let me figure out what dimensions I need. Thinking. First of all, I looked up what an average refrigerator height and width is. There are like 34-inch wide, and then there are 36-inch wide. So I'm going to go with the bigger one, like double opening. I'm giving it an extra 1.5 or 1.25 on both sides so you can push it in and out. And then height, there goes 66-inch, which are small garage ones, I think. And then the big ones, again, we're just going to plan for the bigger one here. 72, but I'm giving it an extra 1.25 as well, just so it's easier to push it in and push it out. This is kind of overhead storage, whatever, we'll come up with it. And then here is gonna be our pantry. But this is the plan, so in the meantime, I think I'll build the outside part of it, the separator here, and then we'll figure out the shelving when we get to it. Oh boy, I hope I ate my Wheaties this morning. Oh. We almost had to disassemble the walkway because I built this thing exactly 1 inch narrower than this door opening here. We should have thought about that ahead of time, but I got really lucky. We got it in here. Low ceilings was a pain in the butt to get out, but I got to cut out this outlet section, and then this last minute decision, I think I'm gonna not regret it, but over here, since I have an outlet, I'm gonna make a countertop in here, just so you're like coffee maker and tea kettle, all that stuff, and then we'll have shelving on top and shelving below. I mean, are you really surprised? I'm not. I suck at measuring sometimes. I think I've been taking so much time off from building furniture and doing the framing instead here that I lost that muscle to focus on slowing down and planning ahead for these measurements. So fortunately, this one is off just a little bit in terms of needing to shim it up. But one thing I was figuring out as I was securing all these cabinets is how uneven these floors are. All of these cabinets, they're laying flush to the ground, every bit of that cabinet itself. Same over here. This one's fine, but then it like slowly starts tapering down to the point that that's like 3/4 of an inch lower. That's absolutely mind-boggling to me. So you really kind of see what's the problem once you start doing things like cabinets that need leveling. Now that all the flex is gone, I feel comfortable actually putting the shelf pins in here to be able to lift this up and down. But before I do that, I got to throw in my face frame here. And I think that will prevent this from flexing as much. This is already secured to this wall, so we shouldn't have any problems, but this one might have a little bit. So let's throw that puppy on. Got our shelf. I was originally going to do granite countertops or quartz or anything like that, but then I figured that's kind of a waste of material since you're not going to see it. Yes, it'd be nice to clean it, but this way with the same material as the shelves, it'll blend in, and if we end up changing our mind and wanting to put like Formica on there, we totally can. I still gotta buy the shelf pins to make them all adjustable to hold this in place, but I'll edge band the front, get those ordered, and then we can actually have this be there, and then do the same with these top two. Folks, got our drawers cut up, saved you guys the hassle of watching me repeatedly cut 1,000 drawers here. Really simple, 1/2 inch birch. Got my dado cut in the middle, so my 1/4 inch panel will go inside. That'll be the bottom of the drawer. And then for the front and backs, I put pocket holes, therefore I could screw them together with wood glue, and the drawer face will cover it, and nobody will see what we did. Got edge band on it, got to trim it off, give it a light sand, and then we'll start putting them together. This is the exciting part. Got my bottoms here, got my sides. For the bottom, I cut it, so because these are 1/4 inch on each side deep, so I took the width and then I added, instead of a 1/4 on each side, I just added 3/8 just to give it enough wiggle room to actually squeeze in. The last thing I want is to be a little bit bigger or exactly perfect and then have problems getting everything aligned. And I've been there before and I'm not going there again. We got our first official drawer completely done. Look how beautiful this veneer came out with it. I'm so glad I decided to do the extra step and actually clean that up really nicely with the veneer. One drawer down and I don't know, like 10 trillion to go. Buckle up, kids. It's gonna be a long day. "12 drawers, folks, 12 stinking drawers. They're beautiful drawers. They're done. So I think I'm gonna take a big break from building drawers for a little bit. Up next is the second fun part, which I'm not looking forward to as well at all, is building the doors. This is gonna suck. Folks, I finished up all the cabinet door stiles and rails, and they have this interlocking mechanism, tongue and groove, so you cut all your channels out. Everything's a perfect fit. I also cut up all of my raised panels, because these are going to be raised panel kind of shaker style door. They get the same tongue and groove fiasco on the sides. Now, to give it that raised panel recessed look, that three-dimensional perspective, there's two ways you can go about it. You either create a jig on your table saw and cut whatever angle, I don't know what it is, at the side, or if you have a nice router table like I do, we have this cove bit that sits over here. So we're just gonna run our panels, and then once all our panels are ran, we can put all these suckers together and we're gonna have some doors. So this is the moment of truth. I hate doing things in mass cuts like this because sometimes maybe I didn't measure correctly, but I think I double checked my numbers. So the idea here is we're gonna glue up our mortise and tenons, and then for our raised panel down the middle, we're not gluing it because wood expands and contracts, so you have to give it that wood movement or the opportunity for it, or else it's gonna crack on you. It's gonna actually warp your boards too if you're not careful. So here goes nothing. How gorgeous is this solid poplar door. Oh my God, I love this raised panel look. It's so classic, so timeless. And the spacing is perfect because the raised panel is in perfect plane with the stiles and rails. It's gonna be a good day. I got a good feeling about this. Boys and girls, it's a big day for the program. All the cabinets are done. They're finally sanded. They're all touched up. They're perfect. They couldn't be more perfect. I'm already spraying them. We're not gonna spray paint first. Because they're raw cabinets, the paint's just gonna get absorbed. So we're gonna shoot a primer. Going airless today. I don't wanna start diluting paint. I want to use the strongest paint possible because, you know, kitchen stuff. Let's lock and load it and let us spray. All right, folks, the primer is on, nice and dry. ready for paint. Things are actually going decently smooth. I had a few little speckles of, droplets on it, but it was easily sanded off with 300 grit. So the color we're going with, Oilcloth by Benjamin Moore. Irina picked it out. It looks fantastic. It's like got this matte olive grayish looking color. It's gonna look phenomenal. Probably one of the most radical colors we've ever used. The most important part, this is a urethane trim enamel emerald urethane. I have used this on every cabinet I've ever done. It has never steered me wrong. Super duper durable, tough paint. Best thing is it applies with an HVLP sprayer or an airless sprayer. So it's phenomenal. Throw this on and let's see how this puppy transforms. This has to be probably my new favorite color ever. This is the perfect subtle tone. It's not too harsh, it's not too light, it's absolutely perfect. Irina crushed it. She crushed it right out of the park. I'm gonna finish painting all the doors, all the drawer faces, maybe give this one more coat, put everything together, and in the morning, I'm gonna show you this big reveal. So the kitchen is done, and like we discussed earlier in the video, is we need to figure out, does it cost more to buy your own cabinets or is it cheaper to build them? So the budget breakdown is this. For all the cabinets that you're seeing here, including this pantry, which you can't buy, that's like a custom build thing, I spent $3,536.62, that's after tax, without the pantry. Now, keep in mind, if the cabinets we buy, the ones that I was looking for, are not the natural red oak, which nobody wants red oak unless it's in a cabin or something like that, because the wood grain. So if you want to get nice, smooth cabinets, the brand that Lowe's carries is Diamond Now, and the model is Arcadia, and they come white. And so when it comes to all the cabinets you're seeing here, excluding the pantry, all of those I calculated up to be $3,966.62. Keep in mind, if you don't want white and you want an oilcloth color like this or something like that, that's an additional $200 plus, that's an additional $230 plus an additional $200 for this little island build out thing that we did, because plywood, trim, and all that stuff that goes into it. So at the end of the day, you're really only saving between $1,000 and $1,500 when it comes to building them yourself. I didn't anticipate it to be that much. I'll completely be honest with you. I kind of went over budget, but we got it done. It's a learning lesson for me, and I couldn't be happier how this island turned out. Well, the entire kitchen, really. I'll be sure to link the cabinet color and the hardware that we used in the description below of this video. Make sure you come back for next week's video where we're gonna handle the countertops, we're gonna handle all the light fixtures, the drywall, the appliances, the whole kit and caboodle. It's all gonna be done. It's gonna be a ginormous transformation from before and after. And in the meantime, here's a video I think you might enjoy.